This call is now being recorded.
Good morning, dear students. We were discussing about the geometric transformations. Uh, in previous lecture, we had discussed about computer-aided design, computer integrated manufacturing, and computer-aided manufacturing. In today's session, we'll be going to discuss the geometric transformations. So, as you know, that geometric transformations are used for changing the mathematical description. It is used for changing the mathematical description of a model, or we can say it as it is an entity that we are drawing. Okay, so what is basically mathematical description? In case of geometric transformation, we are changing the coordinates. We are changing the coordinates of the model. That is what we call geometric transformations. Okay. There are few types of geometric transformation. First one is translation. Translation is the transformation in which you will change the position of an object or model. Change the position of a model. So if you are to transfer, if you are to shift the position, if you have to change the position of a model, then it is known as the translation transformation. Let us consider one triangle having vertices A, B, C, which we have to change to new position, that is A dash, B dash, C dash. So that is called as translation. Just to draw a simple sketch, I can say that it is x and y coordinate, and this is point P, which is denoted by coordinates x and y. Now these coordinates x and y, this point P, we need to change or shift it to new position P dash. So their coordinates will be x dash and y dash. So that is what we call the translation transformation, changing the position of an object. That is called as translation. Second is rotation. So what is rotation? If we are changing the orientation of an object, if we are changing the orientation of an object or a model, then it is called as rotation. So if there is one triangle which we have to rotate uh, along one of its vertices, then it is called as rotational transformation. Third one is scaling. So in scaling transformation, we are going to change the shape of the, size of the model. Change the size of a model. That is what we call that scaling. Okay. So whenever we want to change the size, either we have to enlarge it or we have to reduce it, then it is called as your scaling transformation. And the fourth one is mirror, or it is also called as reflection. So this is the transformation related to make a copy of an object. So if you want to make a copy of an object, then this kind of transformation is called as mirror or reflection. So translation, rotation, scaling, and reflection or mirror, these are the basic geometric transformations are there. And the last one more is there, that is called as shear. The shear is not in your syllabus, but it is changing the, I mean, it is twisting of an object. Let us say this is your square and I am making it as trapezoid. So this process is called as shear transformation, but this is not in syllabus. So we are not going into detail of this. Okay. Then next we'll discuss what is homogeneous transformation and what is the need of homogeneous coordinates. So this is very important to understand why we need these homogeneous coordinates. So whenever we go for the generalized coordinates, as far as the various transformation, if we consider translation, rotation, scaling, reflection, and shear, uh, of all these transformation, only translation is the form of vector addition. Only the translation will be in the form of vector addition. Translation is in the form of vector addition. That means we have to add the matrices in case of translational transformation. Okay. Other than that, all the transformations involve your multiplication of the matrices except translation. Now, for quick and efficient calculation, it is desirable to express all the transformations in the form of multiplication. Why we require? We require all the forms of transformation into multiplication. Why we require it? It is for the quick and easy calculation. Quick and efficient calculation. Okay, so that is why there is need to for the your uh, homogeneous coordinates. Okay, so there is a convenient method of representing this geometric transformation by introducing the homogeneous coordinate system. Now, what we do in this homogeneous coordinate system, this system helps us in removing the anomalies available in the Cartesian geometry. Removing the anomalies. Anomalies means difficulty. Anomalies encountered in Cartesian system. So what are the anomalies? We have discussed that all the forms except translation is in your vector and vector multiplication. Only your uh, translation is vector addition. So this anomaly can be encountered in Cartesian system is removed with the help of your homogeneous coordinate system. Okay, so what we do in this in homogeneous coordinates, we use the multiple operation and that can be converted into multiplication. We can use that multiple transformations we represent it as in the form of multiplication only, not the addition. Okay, so it is also useful for drawing the respective views of the model. Okay, so that is why we use the homogeneous coordinate. It is very important to know why we use homogeneous coordinate. So why we use, because there are the anomalies in your uh, Cartesian coordinate system. And what is the anomaly? Translation is in the form of vector addition, which is difficult to calculate, and rest of the things are in the multiplication. So to avoid that, we use the homogeneous coordinates. So we represent the coordinates as x as x dash by h, and y is equal to y dash by h. Okay, so in Cartesian coordinate, we represent is that x and y. In the same Cartesian coordinates are represent in homogeneous coordinate system as x dash by h, y dash by h, and we consider this h value as 1 for the sake of simplification. Okay, so this x is represented as x dash in homogeneous coordinate, y is represented as y dash, and apart from that, we represent one more coordinate, we call it as h. So in Cartesian coordinates, the point, if the point P is represented as x and y, the same point is represented in homogeneous coordinates as x dash, y dash, and h. Now we know that we consider the value of h as 1, so it is going to be x dash, y dash, and 1. Got it? So these two-dimensional coordinates are get converted into 3 dimensions when we use the homogeneous coordinate system. Now you can easily guess that whenever we use it in the matrix form, your 2 by 2 matrix, you are in 2 dimension. Now in homogeneous coordinates, it will be get converted into 3 by 3. Okay, so one more coordinate is added in homogeneous coordinate system. Now we will see what are the representations, how the various geometric transformations can be represented as in the homogeneous coordinate system. So this is very important point to understand. In exam, you will be asked all the examples or the questions on homogeneous coordinate system, not by Cartesian coordinate system. First is translation. So translation is represented in homogeneous coordinate system as x dash, y dash, 1, which is equal to x, y, 1. So you know that these are the new coordinates, these are the old or original coordinates, and the translational transformation matrix will be 1 0 0 0 1 0. Sorry, here it is tx, ty, and 1. Now what is tx? It is the distance moved in x direction. For translation, we need two distances to move the coordinates, to move the object. So that is tx and ty. So tx is the distance moved in x direction, and ty is the distance moved in y direction. So it is given in the problem. How much distance we have to move along x direction and how much distance we have to move along y direction. So this can be represented in matrix form as P dash equal to P into TH. So what is P dash? These are the new coordinates, these are the old coordinates, and this is the translation transformation matrix. Okay, so this is how your translation matrix is represented. Second transformation is rotation. Rotation, we have these new coordinates x dash, y dash, and 1. These are the original coordinates x, y, and 1. And we represent the rotational matrix as cos theta, sin theta, 0, minus sin theta, cos theta, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so this is your rotational transformation matrix. Now, so some of you might have wondered that I have written this Tx and Ty in the uh, rows in the third row instead of writing in the first and second row. So in some textbook it is written like this Tx, Ty, and 1. Okay, but this is whatever I am saying is the simplest method through which you can go easily, and you need not to perform further calculation, or you need not to remember some tricks to solve the problem. Okay, straight away you can just multiply the matrix and you can go for the calculations. So whatever I am telling is the only way, is the things we are going to follow now onwards. Third one is scaling. As I told you, scaling changes the size of an object. So x dash, y dash, 1, x, y, 1 into sx 0, 0, 0, sy 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is what our scaling transformation matrix will look like. Sx and sy are the scaling factors. Sx and xy are the scaling factors. If Sx is the scaling factor along x direction and Sy is the scaling factor along y direction. Okay, if Sx and Sy are equal, then that type of scaling is called as uniform scaling. If Sx is equal to Sy, then it is called as uniform scaling. And if Sx value is not equal to Sy, then it is called as differential scaling. Okay, so let us take it is Sx is 0.5 and Sy is also 0.5, then it is called as uniform scaling. And if Sx is 0.5 and Sy is 2.5, which is not equal, then this kind of scaling is called as differential scaling. When the values of Sx and Sy are 1, your object will be at original dimension, is having original dimension. If your scaling factors are less than 1, your geometry or your model will be reduced in size. If your scaling factors are more than 1, then your object will be enlarged in size. Then we have reflection. Fourth one is reflection or mirror. So this is represented as x dash, y dash, 1, x, y, 1, and AC0, BD0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so these values of ABCD will be according to uh, along which axis you are uh, rotating it or reflecting it. So that is what we call scaling. So these ABCD's values will depend on the axis through which you are reflecting it. Fine. Then we have one concept called as concatenated transformation matrix. This is important concept to learn. What is concatenated transformation matrix? It is also called as composite. So whenever there is more than one transformation matrix which need to be processed in the problem, then that type of transformation is called as concatenated transformation. Okay, when more than one transformation is involved, transformation is involved in the problem, then this is called as concatenated transformation. Like if you are having scaling, if you are having rotation, and if you are having translation, then this scaling, rotation, and translation, this is called as concatenated transformation. More than one transformation involved in a single problem, that is what we call as concatenated or composite transformation matrix. In exam, most of the time, in 99% of the cases, you will find the problem on concatenated transformation only. Okay. Now we'll solve few simple problems on concatenated transformation matrix using homogeneous coordinates. Okay. So this is example number 1. I'll read the example. A rectangle is formed by 4 points A, B, C, D, whose coordinates are A 50, 50, B 100, 50, C 100, 80, and D 50, 80. Okay, these are the 4 coordinates through which the rectangle is formed in the coordinate system. Now you have to calculate the new coordinates. We have to calculate the new coordinates of the rectangle if it is reduced by the scale, if it is reduced by the scale Sx equal to 0.5 and Sy equal to 0.6. So this is very straightaway example, not involving more than one transformation, only scaling is involved. Okay, so we are having a rectangle represented by 4 points A, B, C, and D, which is to be reduced by the scaling factor of 0.5 along x direction and zero point 0.6 along y direction respectively. Okay, first we will represent our rectangle ABCD in the homogeneous form. So how it is represented? 50, 50, 1. Okay, so 50 is x, 50 is y coordinate, and 1 is the homogeneous coordinate. Then 100, 50, 1, 100, 80, 1, and 50, 80, 1. So this is how we are representing our rectangle. Now we'll write the scaling matrix. We'll write the scaling matrix as S homogeneous as Sx 0 0 0 Sy 0 0 0 1. Okay, putting these values we'll get 0.500 0 0.60 0 1. Got it? Now we have to find out the new position, that is A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash, which is equal to A, B, C, and D. These are the old coordinates into scaling matrix. Okay, so we have to multiply this matrix and this matrix. After multiplication, matrix multiplication, you got the coordinates as 25, 30, 1, 50, 30, 1, 50, 48, 1, and 25, 48, 1. Okay, now if you have to write it in the Cartesian coordinates, your answer will be A is having 25, 30, B is having coordinates 50, 30, C is having coordinate 50, 48, and D is having coordinate 25, 48. So this is your answer. Just simply you are multiplying your new coordinates with the help of scaling matrix. Okay, so this is one of the simple problem involved. Next problem, example 2. So we have to write the 3 by 3 transformation matrix for the following effects. We have to write only 3 by 3 transformation matrix for the following effects. So first effect is scale the image, to be twice as large, and then translate it 1 unit to the left. So we have to follow this effect. First we have to scale the image to be twice as large, means we have to enlarge it to double to the original size, and then you have to move or translate it to 1 unit. Okay, so for if we are try to scale it, scaling for twice as large, as I told you earlier, Sx and Sy will be 2. Okay, so if the scaling factor is 1, your image is at original size. If it is less than 1, it will be reduced. If it is 0.5, then it is half reduced, and if it is 2, it is the twice enlarged. So you have to write the Sx and Sy as 2. Okay, and you have to translate it to one unit to left. Now let us consider this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis origin. So along this we consider as positive. If we are moving from origin to right of x-axis, we are considering it as positive. On the converse, if we are moving from right to left towards origin, we consider this direction as negative. Similarly, if we are moving from top to down upward along y-axis, we consider this as positive, and if we are moving in downward direction, we are considering it as negative. So we are having Tx component to move along x-axis and Ty component to move along y-axis. They have said that you have to translate it one unit to the left. Okay, so you have to you have to shift one unit to the left. If it is originally at this point, you have to shift one unit to the left. That means your Tx will be -1. Okay, they haven't talked anything about Ty, so that's why we consider Ty as 0. So for translation, for translation, we'll be considering Tx as -1 and Ty as 0. Okay. Now we'll find out the resultant transformation. So we call it as C matrix, concatenated matrix. So it is S into T. So which is equal to, I'll directly write the matrix now, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1. These values 2 are of Sx and Sy, and I'll write the translation matrix as 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, -1, 0, 0. So this -1 is this Tx value and this 0 is this Ty value. Okay. After multiplication, I'll get the resultant matrix as 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, -1, 0, 1. Okay, so this is my answer for this first effect, in which I have to scale the image. First, I have to scale the image twice as large, and then I have to translate it one unit to the left. So this transformation involve two transformations. First is scaling and then translation, homogeneous translation to be very precise. So that this kind of transformation is called as your concatenated or composite transformation. Okay. So this is first effect. We'll see one more effect. Second effect, they ask us that scale x direction to be half as large and then rotate anti-clockwise by 90 degree about the origin. Okay, so scale in to be half as large in x direction. Now you can guess that Sx value is 0.5 and Sy we have to keep it as 1. Remember over here we have not have to move, take it Sx as 0. Here Sy as 0, sorry, Sy is equal to 0 because Sy, the original dimensions for Sx and Sy are 1 if your object is at original, is having original shape. Okay, so we have to make it half only in x direction. That's why we are taking Sx as 0 and we are keeping Sy as 1. Okay, then we have to rotate, that means theta is 90 degree, and since it is counterclockwise we are taking the sign as positive. Okay, so we'll write the matrices as 0.500000001. This is for scaling, and second one is cos 90, sin 90, 0 minus sin 90, cos 90, 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is for rotation. If you multiply all these matrices and find out the answer, you'll get 0.50 minus 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, this is your concatenated matrix. This is the first and the second one. We'll solve the last one. Third one. Translate down. Translate down 0.5 unit and then rotate counterclockwise by 45 degrees. So first we have to translate it and then we have to rotate it. So you know that now translate down means Tx we have to keep as 0 and sorry, they haven't said about Tx, so we keep Tx as 0 and Ty as minus 0.5. Why minus 0.5? Because we are moving in downward direction. So for this problem, since we are moving in downward direction, that's why we are taking Ty as minus 0.5, and for Tx they haven't said anything, so that's why we are keeping it as it is. So we'll write the equation as 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, then Tx is 0, minus 0.5 and 1. We'll write cos 45 sin 45, 0 minus sin 45 cos 45, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the value. I left it for you to for the calculation. So this is what we call as composite or concatenated transformations. Okay, so these kinds of problems maybe arise in your examination. So just to take a quick recap what we had discussed in today's session. So the first we had discussed about transformations, that is translation, reflection, scaling, and mirror. And then we had discussed about the homogeneous coordinates, why the homogeneous coordinates are important, and how the transformations are represented in the homogeneous coordinates. So this is how your translation is represented in homogeneous coordinate as tx ty1. You have to make note of the position where you are putting the tx and ty entities. So where tx is the distance moved in x direction and ty is the distance moved in y direction. Rotational transformation matrix, cos theta sin theta 0 minus sin theta cos theta 0 0 0 1. It is the rotation about origin, not around any axis. It is about origin. If it is two-dimensional, by default it is considered as along z direction. Then we have scaling matrix. In scaling matrix, we have two entities, Sx and Sy. If Sx and what is Sx is the scaling factor along x direction and Sy is the scaling factor along y direction. If Sx is equal to Sy, it is called as uniform scaling, and if it is not equal, then it is called as differential scaling. When Sx is Sx and Sy values are 1, your object is at original shape, is having original shape. If the values are less than 1, then your object will be reduced, and if the values are more than 1, your object will be enlarged. Then we had discussed about then reflection, the last transformation. So it is represented by AC, ABCD, where ABCD are the reflection about various axes. Then there comes a concept of composite transformation matrix or concatenated transformation matrix. So if there are more than one transformation is involved in the problem, then it is called as concatenated transformation. And that is why we use the homogeneous coordinate matrix. If there is a case, if there involves a translation and we are using the homogeneous coordinates, so it will be it is in the plus, and then we have to use scaling, rotation, and translation. So we have to multiply this scaling and rotation, and we have to add the translation matrix into this. So it will create, it will not give us the efficient result or quick result. So to convert everything into a multiplication form, we use the homogeneous coordinates. So there comes a role or importance of homogeneous coordinates when we used to talk about the multiplication matrix. Okay, and after that we have solved few problems on composite transformation matrix. Very simple and very basic problems we have solved. So in the next session we'll be going to solve the little bit complicated problem, and we'll be going to discuss some more concepts on transformation. So till then, thank you very much. You can put your attendance in the chat box, and you can log off the session.
हॅलो सर. हॅलो प्रतीक
हॅलो.
सर. हा सर, किरण बोलतो सर.
हा बोला.
सर हा सर, मला म्हणजे रिझल्ट मध्ये ना मॅकाट्रॉनिक्स मध्ये फेल दावलेला आहे. तर मग सर कुठल्या रिझन मुळे ते म्हणजे झाले मला काय समजलं नाही.
तुमच्या क्लास टीचरनी सांगितलं असेल ना काय फॉर्म्युला युनिव्हर्सिटीने यूज केला तर 0.35
सर
इंटू मार्क्स म्हणजे मागच्या सेमिस्टरचे पर्सेंटेज इंटू 0.35 इंटू तुमचे इन्सेमचे मार्क्स प्लस इन्सेमचे मार्क्स इन्क्लूड केले आहेत त्यात. तर इन्सेम मध्ये जर कमी असतील तर तुमचं फेलच येणार आहे आणि मागचे पर्सेंटेज जरी कमी असतील तरी फेल येणार आहे. तर इट्स अ कंबाईन रिझल्ट.
सर इन्सेमचे मार्क्स म्हणजे समजतील का आता?
मी सांगतो थोड्या
भेटतील?
वेळाने. पण
ओके ओके
फक्त एक इन्सेमचाच मार्क याच्यात इन्क्लूड नाहीये. त्याच्यात कमी असतील तर डेफिनेटली इफेक्ट पडतोच, पण तुमच्या आधीचा रिझल्ट काय तो पण मॅटर करतो.
नाही असं सर भरपूर जणांचं म्हणजे झालंय की ज्यांचे 4-4 बॅक आहेत ना माग, तर त्यांचे 5च्या 5 पण आताचे क्लिअर झालेत असं बी झालेलं आहे सर.
तुम्ही तुमच्या क्लास टीचरला कॉन्टॅक्ट करा मोर डिटेल्स.
ओके सर. सर इन्सेमचे मार्क तेवढे मॅकेट्रॉनिक्सचे हे करा.